love. And the youth church is doing that today. Last week they made Valentines, and I looked at them this morning, and they were so sweet and so precious. And you know, I said to Dr. Carol, even her little 3-year-old grandson made one, and he put all those little stickers on there, and just, you know, it just looked so cute. I mean, he kind of drew a little thing inside that you could tell was just sending his love. And so they're over at the let me get it right, Magnolia Assisted Living, which is right next to the Tide Palace there, right across from on Main here, and they're over there passing out their Valentines to the residents there, and they're singing them a couple of songs, and one of them, of course, is You Are the Face of God. Now, can you imagine there's probably not a dry eye in the place right now? Because you start singing that to people, and it just wells up. And that's the power of love. So today, Jerry's going to sing for special music, a song called Send Your Love. And it's a perfect song for this month of February, this month of Valentine's Day, this month that we attribute to love. And the lyrics state, send your love. There's so many souls who need it. Send your love, find a hungry heart and feed it. We all need reason to believe. Send your love and receive. So today we're going to explore love. Whew, that is not a good sound. It was good for half a second. It's good right this second, I think.
Go ahead.
Yeah. But that screaming I can't deal with. Anyway, we explore love today, and we are going to learn how to send our love and also how to stand in love. But first, let's affirm our statements of truth, shall we? Together. I am a child of God. I am deserving of good in my life. I am accepting my good now. So if you know me, I say it often, send love, right? If somebody's giving you a hard time, or you're struggling, or anything's going on in your life that somebody's giving you difficulties, I say, send love. And I know that sounds like an easy thing to do, but it is not sometimes, is it? Especially if you're really upset with someone and you might not be thinking the best of them. You're like, Reverend Francie, I can't send love. That's the furthest thing from your mind. However, what happens to us is that we're striving in life to make the right choices, aren't we? What we call the right choices, and to follow the truth that we know and understand at this point in our spiritual journey. And I thought to myself, I wonder if that is really good enough. Is that good enough? To say you're making the right choices and where you're at on your spiritual journey is where you're at, and this is the best you can do. It's not enough. Because what I mean by that is that we have to move beyond saying we're making the right choices and start making the right choices with every breath. And the catalyst behind that can be love. The power of love can help us stay in that place where we turn into a ghost. No. Stay in that truth of being in that presence of God and moving to live without having to make the right choices. Jesus said this, what does it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his own soul? You see, Jesus was talking about everyday present things not of the future, but what concerns us right here and now. And believe it or not, Fillmore used that quote in a talk in 1931. And I know it still applies to us today in 2015. We're still struggling with the same things that he was preaching back in 1931. And so, how do we get beyond that idea? How do we lose our soul? And I think we lose our soul when we are living life without seeing beyond the physical. Without seeing beyond what's happening in this physical sense, this thing that happens every day. When we get so busy with work, the kids, our parents, our friends, the holidays, and just living life, we fail to experience that pure essence of what life really is. And it's present in every one of those moments and every one of those interactions that we get too busy and hung up on the physical about. The essence, the pure essence is there in every relationship. And when we think we are doing everything we are supposed to do or what society thinks we should do, are we really living the life we are meant to live? No, I don't think so. There's a story in Luke 11, the return of the unclean spirit, from Luke 11:24 through 26. And it says, when the unclean spirit has gone out of a person, it wanders through waterless regions looking for a resting place. But not finding any, it says, I'll return to my house from which I came. Any of you have that stuff going on? You said, I'm letting go of this because I did the burning bowl. Right? I'm letting go of this. I set me a new intention. I'm not going to do that anymore. And then what happens? That thing that you let go of is wandering around out there. And guess what? When it comes, it finds it swept and put in order. Oh, yeah, you did the work to get rid of it. But did you do anything after that? Did you just burn the piece of paper and say, I'm free. I can keep doing what I've been doing all year long. Maybe you'll burn the same paper next year. Then it goes and brings 7 other spirits more evil than itself, and they enter and live there, and the last state of that person is worse than the first. Ever been there, done that? Why does this thing keep coming back to get me? I prayed about it, I let it go, and it keeps coming back and smacking me in the face. And then you find out that it's smacking all your friends too. And so all of you can have your pity party together, right? Yeah, it happens. And unfortunately, we get in that mindset that we have to be doing all the time rather than being all the time. Those same issues keep coming up, and they bring that unhappiness and that turmoil and that misery. And they keep coming back to bite us, don't they? And in fact, they bring more turmoil and unhappiness with them just to make sure that we can live in that state of lack that we have created for ourselves. Right? That's why they keep coming back. That's why they bring more friends with them. Because we have created this lack of living for ourselves. And that lack is our unawareness of love in the presence of all that there is. And you know what? That's when we're misusing love. We misuse love when we live from that place. And you know what the misuse of love is? It's lust. It's absolutely lust. We have all claimed love when what we really should have claimed is lust, don't we? We say, I love candy or donuts. And then we gorge an overwhelming amount of them and say, that's the way it goes. But that's lust. A young boy picks up a Playboy for the first time. His dad might be thinking, yeah, he's got the Playboy in his hand. But he starts seeing those photos and seeing those photos and seeing those photos and seeing those photos, and that is lust. A woman feels lonely and feels a void in her life, so she goes out and shops till there's no tomorrow. Fills her house up with stuff. That's lust. And this distorted thinking cannot make things right. However, the distorted thinking can make us feel that any behavior is okay, that it's justified. And we convince ourselves of that. We can behave any way we choose on this earth and all is well. Well, is it okay? No, come on, I want to hear it. No, it's not okay. Because where do we end up? We end up in misery, don't we? We wonder why we're overweight. We wonder why our child is a sex addict and no respect for women or himself. We wonder why our credit cards are maxed out and why our home is full of stuff that we can't even find the thing we wanted to find. And we end up wondering why all this has happened to us as if we have no control. It's all these situations in life. It's not us. We don't have any control of this. I can't control what I'm sticking in my mouth. I can't control what I go out and use my credit card on. I can't control what my kids are doing. Well, there's some truth to that, but... But this is not how God intends for us to live. It is not. It is not freedom in that state of mind. It is not. and it is not the kingdom of heaven. You see, when we lose our own soul, when we try to make the right choices, instead of living from that innate knowing that we have within us, then we're not living from love. And all we have to do is just change that thinking in our mind. You see, and love can be the modification in our thinking, in our consciousness. It really can. But love is already in our consciousness, so all we have to do is bring it forth from that hole that we buried it into. Whatever that hole is, whatever that lack of living that we have within us that causes us to do those other behaviors, bring forth love, and you will be so full that you will be overflowing with love. And it's all there, ready to explode from your beingness. If you just quit doing and just be. Amen. I got an amen. And when we live from this true nature, then our life becomes anew. So how do we modify our thinking, you say? How do we move through every day of this earthly experience and constantly express love? Because, we still have that little hang-up where maybe it's a little hard to do. But Fillmore gives us a hint from the 12 Powers. And he says, the original Eden of the human family was planted by God on earth, and it is still here. Its prototype is within the human soul, but we have not entered it because we have not understood the relation that love bears to the original substance of being out of which all things are formed. Yeah, do you understand that? We're not getting the idea that we are love, that we are God in expression. And if we can stay from that place in our minds, the forefront of our minds, we will be living from that place of love. I love this. The prototype is within our human soul. Think about that. I mean, that's beautiful. Because love is more than that gooey feeling you get over, who. That loved one that you have. And love is more than your favorite food, your favorite color, your favorite place to visit or shop. Love is us. Love is in us and through us and as us, and it is in abundance. And this comes through us from that unlimited abundance of all there is, which is God. Excuse me, I need a drink. So if we could realize this, if we could shift in our own consciousness, excuse me, we would understand that we have that power of love constantly flowing through us, making that foundation for us to live from, a place where good exists in all things and everything. Do you believe that happens? Do you believe that good exists in all things? And that God is in the midst of all things? Then it should be easy for you to figure out that God exists within you. Well, here's a step that we can do to start living from this place in our souls. From Deuteronomy 6:4-5, it says, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord alone. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might." You see, I believe that if we can truly love God, feel that essence of God within our own souls, and truly love that we would love God with all of our soul and all of our might, and we couldn't help but love everyone else. Because at that point, all we would see is the God in each and every person. Excuse me. And when we feel the essence of God within us, and it's so powerful, and we can tap into that energy, then we would be able to freely communicate our love, don't you think? It would just flow from us, and people would understand it. I mean, we all want to be around the happy people, don't we? We don't want to be around the miserable people. Well, those happy people, that's an essence of love, isn't it? That's coming through them as love, and that's what we want more of. And guess what? If we want more of it, so do they. So if you're hanging around the happy people and you want more of that, then you need to be more of that, don't you? Yes. Reflect it back and forth and back and forth. And you know what? Your soul is just going to expand and be lit up with this power that we call love. And you know what? Then, in every moment, you would experience that fire of the Spirit within you. You would be just on fire with it, and everybody would know it. You see, Jesus, Buddha, the Dalai Lama, Mother Teresa, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., all modeled this behavior of love for us, or the ability to feel that love and live that life with love. I got a tickle, sorry. See what happens? I get on fire. I can't breathe. Allergies. But I'm not going to claim them anymore. They're gone. And I have to tell you, when I wrote this thing about Jesus, Buddha, the Dalai Lama, Mother Teresa, and Dr. Martin Luther King, I was thinking about the people in my life who truly express love all the time. And I thought, okay, who's somebody right here, right now, that I feel that love? And I told Janelle at meet and greet that this message was about her, because that part of that is Janelle, and her coming up reading the Daily Word today was huge. But I feel like she's always that essence of love expressing. She never says one thing negative about anybody, and she's even called me on my own a couple times, you know, when I said something about one of my kids or something. She's like, and then she just sends the love. And it's just that shift in energy that happens for you. And when somebody can do that for you, you want to be around them all the time, because you sense that and you feel that. And if we could all demonstrate that, as you do, Janelle, all the time, I think, just think what this world would be like. Yeah. And maybe you've seen people, other people that have had that viewpoint in life, that from that place of enlightenment, that place of love, and you cherish their relationship and you cherish that power that you share with them. But you see, that is that spiritual interrelationship of the human family. And that's what we're growing here. We're building that foundation for that interrelationship of the human family. And for all of us to experience that, for all of us to feel that, for all of us to know that, and for all of us to help each other be that expression of love all the time. In Matthew 5:43-44, Jesus said, "You have heard that it was said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you." Yes, because this is when we have a shift in consciousness. This is when we can recognize the divine love that is surrounding us and enfolding us, and we can bring it to the forefront of our mind. And this discipline is as easy as breathing. Love is in us as easy as breathing. Although I'm having difficulty right now.
Nice, Francie.
Thank you.
Take your time.
Yeah.
With me, now I'm getting warm, so it doesn't help.
No, that might make it worse.
Okay.
Because you see, love is the fulfillment of that universal law. To love one another as I love you is pure. And physical science has discovered that everything can be reduced to a few primal elements. And if the universe were destroyed, it could be built up again from one single cell. Did you know that? And this one single cell, just like every cell in our bodies, in our beingness, comes from that original substance of being, or what we call God, which is love. And that love is so powerful that it can rewrite all mental wrongs, because in spirit there are no wrongs. So all we have to do is focus on one cell being love, one cell coming forth through us as being love. And if we can focus on that one cell, it will shift all the other cells in our body. Those 70 trillion cells I said 2 weeks ago. So we do that. We focus on one cell. Well, last week, or whenever it was, the week before last, I don't remember. When was the Super Bowl? Don't tell Warren I'm asking. Anyway, when the Super Bowl was on, I was sitting there on the couch, and against my will, I watched it. No, I'm just kidding. It was a little bit. But, you know, my favorite thing at the Super Bowl is the new commercials and the halftime. Don't you love that? Yeah, it's really fun. So I'm watching the ads, and the Coca-Cola ad came on, and it was showing these people doing negative things to people, but then it was like turning it into a positive experience as they did it. So it's kind of like taking whatever everybody else is doing around you and just focusing in on the love, right? And then at the end of that commercial, what really grabbed me was they said, show me love. Now, I had already written this message, but I said I had to put that back in there, because that little piece in there, because it is showing up around us. It gave me more hope of the idea that, hey, you know, what we're talking about here at Unity and what we're sharing is showing up around us in everyday life. It's showing up in commercials and different places, and all we have to do is tune into that. And all we have to do is show each other love. And it's okay to start with the ones that you're easiest to love, like your loved ones, or your pets, or your children, or any of those things or any of those people that you already love. But like your church family too. But once you can move beyond those easy ones, start sending love out. Think about that one cell. That one cell in your body is like everybody out there. Just picture somebody and send them love. So maybe you start, like I said, with people in here. But go beyond that. Think about that cashier at the grocery store. Think about the guy who sacked your groceries. Think about the nurse at the hospital. Anybody that you can picture in your mind and start sending them love. And you'll see how easy it really is. It's not that difficult when we switch in our minds and bring that to the forefront of our consciousness. But the most important thing we have to do is begin with loving ourselves. You see, if we don't, there's show me love. If we don't begin loving ourselves, it's kind of hard to go out and love others. And so we begin with loving yourself. Can you do that?
Yes.
Are you sure you can love yourself?
Yes.
I can't hear you.
Yes.
Thank you. Well, this is, yeah, there you go. This is the thing, though. Can you love yourself beyond the limitations you have created for yourself? There you go. Okay. And that's okay to be working on it. It's okay to be working on it. At least you're moving forward, and that's the key. You know, yes?
That's why I like that song, Every Thought is a Prayer.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. That goes right along with it. If we begin to think that we are moving in the right direction, we begin to start transforming our thoughts, then it's going to happen for us. And we're going to be able to get rid of that ball and chain and just run on that path of love. And when I say this too, the limitations that we have created for ourselves, we have created them. Remember, God is that essence of good and all that is good. So God didn't give us anything like that. Nobody has given it. We've created whatever it is that stands in our way. And all we have to do is think about that and release it and really let go of it. Because we create the things in our lives that make us unhappy. And it begins with lack of love. So if there's something that feels like a limitation, go back in your mind and say, I love more than that limitation. I love more than that lack thinking that I'm having right now. And when you do that, you can't help but begin to love yourself. And when you do that, you can't help but love others. And we can begin every day with love before you get out of bed. We can look at ourselves lying in bed and visualize love in every cell of our beingness. That's powerful right there. We can wake up to the beautiful expression of God that we are. Because all of you are beautiful. You are. We can give ourselves a big hug and tell ourselves before we get out of bed that God loves me and I love me. And we can activate that power of love that is in us. Then we can get ready to send our love out to everyone and know that we can stand in love. Thank you for being here today. God bless you.
So I can feel it coming back. your love. Find a hungry heart and feed it. We all need reason to believe. Send your love and receive. Give your heart and your vision of tomorrow. Give your heart. Give them joy to conquer sorrow. We all need comforting relief. Give your heart and receive. Doesn't God supply us with the endless living word? Lord, we have the pieces of this world. We can live our lives as one and make it whole. That's what God made living for. Send your love and forever be forgiving. Send your love for the one who made us living. We all have company to keep. Send your love and receive. We all need reason to believe. Send your love and receive. Send your love. Oh, yeah, sure.
Thank you, Jerry. That was beautiful. Are you coming down, Sound Master? Well, it's time for our giving and receiving. And so we have our transparent prosperity bowls at the door. We do not pass the bag or the bowl. And we just want you to freely give as you feel you want to give. And that is powerful. I mean, we all have bills. We all have what we need. And here at the church, we do too. But we live in that abundant universe. And we know that God provides all that we need. He can come down. There you go. Yeah. Anyway, oh, so sweet. So we just put them back there and you freely give. But we bless our gifts together. And so I invite you right now, wrap your gift. And if you've already put it in the bowl, just know that you are wrapping it with lots of love. As we say together, our prayer of abundance. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful.
2, 3, 4.
God gives it back to you. Good measure, press down, shake it together, give it. God gives it back to you. God gives it back to you. Give. God gives it back to you. Good measure, press down, shake it together, give. God gives it back to you. God gives it back. in the light of God.
If we sing a little Australian hot today, we've been busy. What did we do today? What did we do today, somebody? What, Grace?
We gave Valentine's to the people across the street.
And what, did we go on to the store?
No, we made them by hand.
When?
Last
week? These are the Valentines that we made last week, and we took them over to the residents over at the Magnolias. And they loved it. Just very quickly. And we also brought one to the Reverends too. Yeah.
Sweet,
Good job,
sweet.
thank you.
Good job.
Right.
Love them, love them.
So we say, we love you. Tell
We love you.
Ooh.
quickly, just one person, tell us, what did you enjoy most about what we did today? That's something to tell us.
Sharing to other people and giving them Valentine's Day cards.
Yes.
And Buddha is going to tell us there are 2 words they chose to share with our families and friends this week, and Buddha's going to tell us what they are.
Love and sharing.
Woo, great one.
Very good.
Yay. So you guys did a lovely service over there. How was that though? Did they love it?
Yeah.
Did you see the face of God?
Yes.
Did they start crying?
No.
They didn't?
No.
I figured they would.
And we also sang, "This is my plan."
There you go.
Love one another.
There you go. Good one.
Today
Yay.
is the second Sunday of the month, and are there any February birthdays?
No.
Yes. Yes. Stand up, please. We're going to sing you happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear loved ones. Happy birthday to you. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you. You are wonderful. God is blessing you
And God has blessed us with each one of you in this congregation. So I've got a busy week. I've got Grace's birthday on the 11th, and then Francie's birthday on the 20th. So February, and my other daughter is on the 22nd.
And then our daughter-in-law is the 24th, and then our eldest son is the 25th. Yeah.
In January.
And our dog that is no longer with us was in between that.
So the offering for Warren will be later. So